Hello and welcome back. So, today we're going to be doing a training on creating a cycle-based business. The reason why I wanted to share this is because I actually run my business off of two things, my birth chart and my cycle. Part of it is one, I do it off of astrology because I love doing things off of astrology. I find that it makes manifestation so much easier. But then, two, the reason why I run my business off of my cycle is because I have PCOS and endometriosis and PMDD. And because of those things, it really changes how I feel based off of where I am in my cycle, which your cycle is more than just the days that you are on your period. Your cycle is all four of the phases that you go through, which we'll talk about in this training today. But because my cycle can be so erratic and my energy levels can be so erratic, I then decided that I was going to create a business that was focused around and centered around my cycle. It has made my business so much easier to run, and it's allowed me to love myself so much easier, so much better because I recognize where I am energetically. So, here's the thing. Each phase of your cycle has different energy levels. And so your business task should match your body's needs. And this training today is going to help you to work in harmony with your cycle instead of pushing against it. So let's first start with the menstrual phase, which is days 1 through 7 or 1 through 5, 1 through 4 if you're lucky. Some people only have 3 day cycles, and I'm so jealous. I definitely have 7. Okay, so the key words and the focus should be on rest, reflection, and intuition. What that means is you're going to focus on your inner wisdom because your energy is at its lowest. So you want to focus on prioritizing your rest and deep listening to within. Your mind also may not be as clear as it's going to be. So you might struggle with a lot of brain fog. So clarity isn't going to come through taking action. That's actually going to just cause you to feel more frustrated. But if you stop for a moment and you just reflect and you take a moment, that's when you're going to have the most amount of patience for yourself and you're going to allow yourself to feel a lot happier and easier with your energy. So, the best business tasks during this moment are deep rest and minimal work if possible. For me, I try to take off the first 1 to 3 days of my cycle because that's when I have either the most amount of cramping and pain, so I'm just uncomfortable and I just want to be in bed all day. Or if I have to work, then I try to do less client facing things, less recording and filming and all of that. And I focus more on just doing maybe like paperwork or the administrative work that needs to get done, follow up work, and things like that. Reflect on your business alignment. So, what's working in your business and what's not? Go ahead and journal, meditate, pull some tarot cards, or use astrology to get insights on what feels in alignment now and what feels like it's not in alignment. Tune into your intuition for any new ideas or projects or business shifts that are now going to come up. You're not going to take action on them yet because your energy levels are still low, but at least you can allow yourself to think about what's working and what's not, and what ideas you may want to kind of jump into once you're ready. Softly, and I mean softly, review your analytics. So, for some of us, if you struggle with things like PMDD, I don't recommend doing this during this time. But if you find that you are able to review your analytics and look at the TikTok engagement, what's working on Instagram, maybe look at your offers and see what's selling versus what's not, look at your insights and see, what are people saving, what are people sharing, then this would be a perfect time to kind of look over your phone while you're in bed and just seeing like, oh, okay, I noticed that people are saving this content or people are sharing that meme. And then you can recreate that once you're ready. And then capture those insights for the upcoming cycle, but don't act on them yet. So now you have an idea, like maybe you saw that your offer, your coaching group offer didn't really sell very well, but it sold very well last year, but it was during the fall. Maybe now during the fall, you'll do the group program then. You kind of just get to feel it out and feel what feels good. What I do encourage you to avoid is launching or any high energy content creation. This is not the time to be filming. This is not the time to be out networking and connecting. You just don't have the energy for it. So, the business mantra for the week should be by resting now, I allow space for inspiration to flow later. Now let's talk about the follicular phase. This focus should be on creating, planning, and big ideas because now your energy is starting to come back. You're in this space where you're brainstorming, you're feeling inspired, and this is a great time to focus on content creation. Your body is starting, the rising estrogen is starting to allow you to have higher energy, to have more focus and motivation. And your mind now is starting to get excited about what's to come energetically, because your mind is starting to prepare for ovulation. So you're starting to think like, ooh, I could create this, I could create that, I could do this, right? And you're eager to start new things. So the best things you can do for your business during this time is one, brainstorm new content ideas. What do you want to create on TikTok? What do you want to post on IG and on Threads or Substack or your email list? Batch create content. Go ahead and start filming or writing and creating content for people or lead magnets. Those are really wonderful to offer. What is that free thing that you can do and that you can create and offer to people? Start planning out your launches. You're not going to go ahead and launch during this time. If I launch during, I don't try to launch during the first part of my follicular phase, but I might launch during like day 12, day 11, 12, 13, like closer to ovulation, which we'll talk a little bit about. But I definitely will plan the launch during my follicular phase. This will be when I'm coming up with the offer, when I'm coming up with the ideas for the promotions that I want to run, maybe a flash sale or maybe, take something like just running different sales and things like that. I'll definitely be planning that during my follicular phase. Then the other thing is you can outline your big projects or product ideas coming up because your brain is just in this space of like wanting to think about everything and wanting to create. So this is a great time to kind of map out, well, what are the different products or services that you could offer? And it's also a wonderful time to start networking and scheduling those meetings. This is the best time to offer up collaborations, maybe on Substack or reach out to someone on YouTube and say, hey, how can we partner and work together? This is a great time to kind of pitch yourself and put yourself out there. What I encourage you to avoid is overanalyzing, hesitating, and perfectionism. This is a time for action. So just go for it. Don't push yourself into a small space. Go ahead and start to expand. This is when it's time to show yourself. Show yourself. Anybody, Frozen 2 is my favorite. Your business mantra is I am full of fresh ideas and I take action with ease. Now let's talk about my favorite phase. This is everyone's favorite phase, probably. This is the ovulatory phase. This is when you're ovulating. This is when the focus should be on visibility, sales, and engagement. This is when you're going to have the most amount of energy. So you want to focus on connection, high visibility, being magnetic, being outgoing. This is perfect for pitching, perfect for selling, perfect for filming because your energy is at its highest. Your estrogen and your testosterone are peaking, which makes you your most confident, your most social, and your most persuasive. This is also the time when you tend to have the most like attractiveness factor, if you will. So you tend to attract people into your world during this time. They love being around this energy. So with that being said, sell, 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 baby. This is the time to launch that new offer. Go for it. Because now you have the energy. You were in the creative, you were in the intuitive phase, then you had the creative phase. Now you're in the sales phase. You're in that phase where you just want to tell everybody about what it is that you do. So you want to use your Mercury and your third house to implement that marketing strategy from your birth chart and now connect the birth chart and your cycle together to launch, right? Go live. Do podcast interviews or teach a workshop. Can you tell which phase I'm in? Because I am filming. I love filming during ovulatory phases because I just have the most amount of energy and it attracts people into my world. Engage with your audience. Now, you should be engaging with your audience on a regular, consistent basis anyway, but during this week, you really need to be responding to the DMs and posting interactive content where you're asking questions and really encouraging people to converse with you, because this is the time when you're going to have the most amount of excitement and patience and joy around talking to other people. This is also a great time to pitch yourself for guest features and collaborations. Like I said, during the follicular phase, this is a great time to reach out to people and say, how can we work together? And then lastly, follow up with leads and potential clients. Don't just assume because someone ghosted you or they took a really long time to respond that they're no longer interested, because that's possible that they're not. It's just that they might have forgotten. I mean, how many times have you done that, right? Where you were talking to someone and then you forgot and then they reached back out and you were like, oh, I'm so grateful you reached out, right? So follow up with people, connect with potential clients, reach out, engage with people, offer your services, obviously not in a salesy, like sleazy kind of way, but in a way that feels natural. This is the time to do that. Avoid, and I have to say this, avoid overextending yourself and avoid overcommitting, because you are not going to feel like this forever. I know that it is so tempting to think, man, I'm on a high and I'm going to feel like this always. And then you say, oh, yeah, girl, I could go out with you next week, which by next week you are not going to be feeling this way, or, oh, yeah, I can go ahead and plan that for my client and work on this and create a book and do that and do. No, no, no. Don't overcommit and overextend yourself just because your energy is high. Your energy will start to level out and you're not going to be that high energy anymore. So, the business mantra for this week is I show up with confidence, knowing my audience is ready to receive me. And then lastly, we have the luteal phase. This is the ending of the cycle. The focus should be on refinement, organization, and soft engagement. Your keywords are that you want to focus on wrapping up, editing, and completing things, because your energy is now starting to wind down and your progesterone levels are making you a lot more reflective rather than active focused. Your mind is starting to be a little bit more analytical, detail focused, and it's great for reviewing and refining. This is also the time when things like PMS and PMDD, if you have them, can kind of kick into high gear. So I definitely want you to avoid making emotional business decisions during this time. I'll tell you what, like clockwork, almost every single cycle, by the week before my period, I want to quit my business. And I've learned now to just expect that instead of thinking it's time to quit. But remember that that's because you're in this luteal phase. The levels are just down, your hormones are down, and things are starting to shift. So, what you should focus on in your business is reviewing content, reviewing your business metrics, and past launches. You should also focus on refining your current offers and your systems. Simplify, edit, update what's working, what's not. Take that focus of being able to be so detail focused and analytical at this time to actually identify, oh, okay, this piece of content didn't really perform very well. Maybe people don't need this. Or this piece of content did perform very well. Maybe I should keep repeating that, right? Or this offer didn't sell very well. So maybe I need to go ahead and retire it and then create a different one. Or the system is asking me for too much money. So I'm going to go ahead and find a replacement, right? You can start to use that analytical mind to actually edit your business and refine things. This is also a great time for soft engagement, meaning, again, you should be regularly engaging, but the engagement is going to look different based off of where you are in your cycle. So at this stage, you might be slow to respond to messages. You might not show up in your stories as much. For example, during my luteal phase, you tend to not see me on video. That's when I'm going to post a lot more of like reposting or just graphics and things like that. I'll still be running my business. You see it all the time, but you just might not see my face because my energy is just not there. So instead, I focus on my clients, I focus on home, and I focus on my admin tasks. The other areas that you can focus on are organizing and decluttering your digital workspace. So go through your Canva, reorganize things. If you do get really stressed out over the process, go ahead and take a break and just focus on like coloring or, working out or moving your body in some phase or just watching TV. But if you can, this is a great time to kind of focus on what's working in your, like what, spaces digitally are working for you, what organization is working for you versus what's not. And then you want to close out any projects and plan for your next cycle. Again, avoid overcommitting during this time, avoid launching during this time because you're just going to get yourself really frustrated if things don't work out. You have to have like a very strong mindset during your launch process. And if things aren't like maybe you're not hitting the numbers that you thought you were going to hit, or maybe it's taking a little bit longer than you expected, Energetically, you're just going to be really hard on yourself and you're not placing a very healthy expectation on your business because of that. So avoid making emotional business decisions as well. The business mantra during this week is I am tying up loose ends and preparing for a fresh start. Okay, so finally, I want to remind you to listen to your body because it knows what's best for you. So, of course, use this as a guide, but recognize that this isn't the end all be all. If you don't have a regular cycle, which many people don't have regular cycles, if you have PCOS like I do, then you can use things like the moon to guide you because the moon also runs off of a 28-day cycle. And based off of where it is, whether we're talking about the waxing phase, the full moon phase, the waning phase, or the new moon phase, it also kind of runs off of the same thing as the cycle, which I'll be creating a training on that as well in the future. So definitely be looking out for that inside of the app. For more trainings like this to help you build an intuitive, successful business that is rooted in alignment over hustle, I want to invite you to join my membership, the Astro Manifestation Library. Inside, we have co working sessions, trainings just like this one. Everything is about 15 minutes or less. A chat bot, we are able to actually use the chat bot called Luna Wise Daily to get your daily horoscopes based off of your birth chart. And then you also get strategy calls and coaching from moi on how to run a successful, intuitive business. And so much more is coming to the app. So if you're interested, definitely go down into the description box and go ahead and join us. It's only $22 a month. And if you join at the yearly rate, then you'll get a free birth chart reading as well to get you started. And if you have any questions about your cycle or running a cycle-based business, go ahead and put it down in the comments. I would love to know who here already runs their business off of their cycle. Did you learn something new here? Definitely let me know in the comments below. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.